Chapter 13.
The next day, I went to see Marco at his home. He and his dad live in a garden apartment complex, one of the older ones, on the far side of the big neighborhood where Jake and Rachel both live. I'd only been over there a couple of times. I think Marco is kind of embarrassed because he doesn't have much money. He used to live in a house just down the street from Jake, but that was when his mother was still alive, and before his father had a breakdown and quit his job. I knocked on the door. From inside, I heard Marco's voice.
"Dad, there's someone at the door. Put on your bathrobe, okay?"
There was a delay, and then the door opened. Marco looked annoyed.
Cassie, what are you doing here?
I wanted to talk to you.
To me? What about?
About yesterday, I said. He hesitated.
Look, I'm spending the day with my dad, okay? We're thinking maybe we'll, do something together.
That's good, I said. Over Marco's shoulder, I could see his father. He was wearing a bathrobe and sitting on the couch. He was staring at the TV. That was normal for any dad, I guess, on a weekend morning. But I had the feeling that Marco's dad was always sitting right there in front of the TV. Look, Marco, I just want to talk for a minute. Can I come in?
No,
he said hastily. He stepped outside onto the concrete breezeway. Down below us was a swimming pool. It was drained and closed. Leaves covered the bottom. Marco, I wanted to talk to you about yesterday.
What about it?
You could have been killed. It would have been my fault. The whole mission was my idea. Jake asked me if we should do it, and I said yes. Marco rolled his eyes.
That's it? Look, it wasn't your fault. It's this whole thing we're doing. This whole Animorph thing. I mean, it's been dangerous right from the start. It's insanely dangerous. What else is new?
I shrugged. What's new, I guess, is that the other times it was always someone else's idea.
Oh, I get it. You don't like responsibility?
I winced. Was that it? Was I afraid of taking responsibility? I don't want to get my friends killed.
And let me assure you, your friends don't want to get killed either, Marco said with a laugh. I am completely opposed to getting killed.
He grew serious, even sad.
But you know what? Sometimes bad things happen. That's the way it is.
I leaned against the rail, looking down at the dismal, empty pool. I see things die all the time, I said. Animals, I mean. Sometimes you can't save them. Sometimes we even have to put them down, end their suffering. But my dad makes those decisions, not me. He's the vet. I'm just his assistant.
Look, here I am, all alive, Marco said, tapping his chest. Get over it. I didn't have to go. It was my choice.
Were you scared? For a while, he didn't answer. He just came over and leaned on the railing beside me.
I'm scared all the time now, Cassie, he said at last. I'm scared to fight the Yeerks, and I'm scared of what will happen if I don't. I look at Tobias, and what happened to him scares me to death. What if I get stuck in Morph someday? And most of all, I am scared of him.
I didn't have to ask who Marco meant by him. Visser 3.
That first time, in the construction site, when he murdered the Andalite.
Marco made a twisted smile.
I see that in my head every day. And the Yeerk pool. He shook his head. That's something I would like to forget, too.
Yes, I agreed. There has been a lot of fear.
So was I afraid yesterday? Bet on it. I was scared plenty. It was like, man, it's not bad enough we have to fight Hork-Bajir and Taxons and Visser 3. We also have to fight sharks? Sharks?
He laughed, and hearing him brought the laughter out of me. We both just stood there and giggled like idiots for a few minutes. It was that laughter you get after something really tense has happened. Relief laughter. We're still alive laughter.
By the way, I was going to wait and tell everyone at the same time,
Marco said.
But I think we have a problem.
What problem?
It was in the newspaper this morning. 2 stories. One is about this guy who is going to be looking for some supposedly lost treasure ship off the coast. The other was this story about some big marine biologist guy who has a ship and is going to be doing some underwater exploration off our coast.
Yes? So?
So, all of a sudden, our nearby ocean seems to be very interesting to people. Treasure hunters and an underwater exploration at the same time?
Controllers? He nodded.
I think so. I think it's all a cover story to explain why 2 ships will be out there with lots of divers in the water. I think it's them, all right. And I think they're looking for the same thing you're looking for.
I felt weak. The image the whale had given me surfaced in my mind, and the faint cry in my dreams, the cry for help. I can't ask anyone to go out there again, I whispered. This time we might not be so lucky. Marco looked uncomfortable.
Cassie, you know how I feel about all this. I think we have to take care of ourselves first, and our own families.
He glanced back at his apartment door.
On the other hand, I guess after what the Andalite did for us, I wouldn't feel like much of a human being if I didn't try to save whoever is out there.
I don't know who's out there, I said. I don't know if it's even real.
But you think it's an Andalite.
I think it is. But Marco, I don't know. If someone gets hurt, killed, just because I have these dreams, I can't make that kind of decision.
Yes, but can you decide to do nothing? That's a decision too.
I had to smile. Marco, you know, for a guy who's always joking around and being annoying, you're awfully smart.
Yeah, I know. But don't tell anyone. It would destroy my image.
I started to walk away.
You know what was strange about yesterday?
Marco said. What?
The sharks. They were so totally deadly. I mean, we worry about Hork-Bajir and Taxons and Visser 3. You kind of forget that right here on little old planet Earth, there are creatures just as tough and dangerous. It would be funny if it wasn't some alien that ended up getting us, but some normal Earth creature.
I didn't think it was funny at all. Marco grinned at my stone face.
Okay, not funny haha, more like funny weird.